Hello and welcome to my beginner's video all about quilling. This is going to be a very quick tutorial about how to get started with the craft of quilling. I'll show you how to make the basic coil shape and also run through how to use a slotted tool and a quilling board. You'll find quilling paper strips for sale, often in sets like this, where you'll have a few different shades of one colour provided. Each paper strip has a slightly rougher side, so if you can, try and keep this on the inside of the coil and the smooth side on the outside of the coil. This slotted tool is what you use to make the coils and the different quilling shapes, and the green tool I have here is a quilling needle, and this is used for precise detail work and for jobs where you need an accurate tool. I just use mine to apply glue precisely and in a small quantity. Other tools that can come in handy for quilling include tweezers, which can be used to move different quilled shapes around without damaging them, and also cotton buds are great for removing excess glue. I have a quilling board here, which is basically a foam board with a plastic guide on top, which is just a piece of plastic with circles cut out. Each row has a different size of circle, and basically the idea of a quilling board is to act as a guide, so you can make quilled shapes of consistent sizes. This is particularly important when you're making larger artwork. As an example, if you were making a flower and needed the petals to be all the same size, then a quilling board would be very helpful. You can get quilling boards with all sorts of shapes on, including hearts, triangles and squares. You'll be able to find these quilling tools on any craft website and also large marketplaces like Amazon. To make a paper coil, you just take off one paper strip from the set and put the very end into the slotted tool. And then, whilst resting the quilling tool on your finger and using your thumb to keep control of the coiling, rotate the slotted tool evenly and consistently until all of the paper strip has been coiled up. You want it to be a tight coil without any loose bits. Once you've made the whole paper strip into the coil, you can remove the coil from the slotted tool and then put it into the circular shape you would like in the quilling board. One tight coil made up of one paper strip fits perfectly in the bottom row on the quilling board, so if you just want a tight coil you can use that row, but I'm going to go a few sizes up and put the coil into this circular shape. Let it unfurl until it becomes the same shape as the quilling board guide, and then you're going to glue the outer end onto the coil to secure it in place. I like to use the quilling needle to apply glue, but some people use it for other detail work and apply the glue instead straight from the bottle, often using a glue applicator that has a very thin needle-like tip. You can use any PVA glue for this. I'm using Aleene's tacky glue. So then you just pick the coil up off the quilling board, keeping it in the same shape, and apply the glue in a very thin layer on the inside of the end of that paper strip. You don't want to use a big blob of glue here because any excess glue could leak out and stick the different layers of the coil together. And then you press the end of the paper strip back onto the coil and put the coil back on the quilling board to make sure it's maintained its shape, and then leave it to dry. Once it's dry, you can use the coil as it is in your artwork, or you can then transform it into different shapes. This quite loose coil shape is the basic building block of quilling and can be used to make all sorts of different shapes. I'm just going to show you a teardrop shape here as an example. You simply take one side and press evenly together just to pinch that one side of the shape. And there you go, that's a teardrop shape. I'm going to shortly make a video that will cover many different shapes, so be sure to check that out if you want to know more. You might be thinking that quilled teardrops aren't particularly exciting and you can't make much with that, but I decorated this vase, which I think actually looks really pretty. All you have to do is glue quilled teardrops onto a little bud vase in different layers and in different shades of purple, and I think it looks really effective. Of course, the more shapes you learn to make, the more imaginative you can get with your designs. So I really hope you give quilling a go, and I hope you enjoy it too. Thanks very much for watching my video.